Hello, everybody. This is Bob Anderson, and today is January 3rd, 2025. I'm in my new office space. I talked about that in my last video. And so I should have done this video a couple days ago, but my new board didn't come in until yesterday afternoon, and I, put it on the wall, installed it last night after my beloved Notre Dame Fighting Irish beat the Georgia Bulldogs, for those of you that didn't know. What a game. Anyways, what I want to talk about is that it's something that I've talked about in this channel before, and I cannot stress this enough. This is something that I believe in, and that is self-evaluation. I've done it. Listen, what changed my career many years ago, back in October of 2001, what changed my career was putting together a plan. And I found that for me, it worked twice a year, January 1st and the 4th of July. Those two times, I would self-evaluate the last 6 months, figure out what's going on that's good, figure out what's going on that's bad, meaning I would remove myself from the day-to-day grind of my business. And as you guys know, I own my own business. I build modular homes. Back in those days, I was I was a mortgage consultant in 2001. And doing what I'm talking about right now, doing what I'm talking about right now took me from a guy that had never done a loan before 2001 to, by the end of 2003, by the way, I have some subscribers in this that watch these videos that know this. By the end of 2003, I was the number one originator in the company I worked at with 50,000 loan officers. I went from zero to hero. So, how did I do that? Well, the main way I did it was, besides amazing amounts of effort, and I had a good team, and obviously some timing and luck and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not going to dismiss any of that, but none of that would have mattered if I didn't do the things I needed to do. And one of those was on January 2002, after I'd kind of got my feet wet and figured out how to do the business, I sat down and I wrote out details of what I was going to do on a day-by-day basis, month-by-month basis to get my business off the ground, to get it going in the right direction. And I wrote, and this is a true story, I wrote that and I taped it to the back of the door of my office in my house. I didn't work out of my house then, but I would sit in my office in the morning, just kind of getting myself up, current on what's going on before I would leave the office, with my kid. I'd take my kids to school. I drove them to school, then I went straight to the office. So I'd sit in my office and I actually would shut that door and read what I'm supposed to do. This was a daily ritual, and burn it in my brain. Okay? And then July comes along. Evaluate the previous 6 months. Do the same thing over. Okay? Well, I've talked about it in this channel, but I have done this with my trading also. That's what's even created this YouTube channel. July 2022, I knew that my biggest problem with trading, because I was using Apex, the prop firm, my biggest problem was I didn't take the evaluation accounts seriously. Like I didn't treat them as if they were funded accounts. So I just willy-nilly'd and just traded. And sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. But if it didn't work, what did I lose? $30. Okay? I didn't like that's what was going on, because I knew I was not working my way out of the prop firm world nor was I making my trading any better. So, August 2022, I actually started this YouTube channel to go publicly with my trades because I didn't feel like I could make myself accountable. I just didn't feel like I had that ability at that time. And so I would go public with my trades, and then, here we are. So anyways, so January 2023, I then put emphasis on patience instead of over trading, okay? And that all the rules had to be met before I would take a trade. All right? So, did that work? Well, yeah, it worked. But again, unless I wrote it down and I focused on it, I don't know that I ever would have done it. Okay? Then we get to January of 2024. I don't quite remember July of 2023. I don't quite remember what happened there. I think I was too focused on some automated stuff. I don't know. I don't remember. But what I do know is January 2024, I told myself that I have to, because the other thing that I fought, besides accountability and making and averaging myself into bad trades, which was my problem back in July because I didn't take the account seriously. Okay. I still battled mentally the desire to be right. I've talked about that before. I've got a math background. I'm a math science type guy. I'm a STEM guy. Okay. And as a STEM guy, there's an answer that's correct, and and all other answers are wrong. And so I think I know mentally I would struggle that all the rules were met, and I took the trade and it still didn't work. Like, I had to find a way to accept that. So one of the things I started doing in early 2024 is I allowed myself to have 50% win rate and lose 50% of the time. And all of a sudden what was happening was I was taking losses with ease. I wasn't stressing out about it. I just didn't stress out like, oh, okay, I lost $100. Okay. Because I knew going into the trade that I could lose money. And as long as I knew going into the trade, instead of thinking this is going to be correct, I'm just telling you, it made me a better trader. And it made me understand more the whole concept of having 2 times your win rate minimum as your target to 1 time your loss rate. Okay? Still keep in mind in all of these steps up here, I'm following these thought processes, but I'm also using a prop firm. So, like, I still have to have a target that's relatively reasonable in case it rolls back and I got a trailing stop coming behind me. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so my damn dogs are back here. Stop it. Stop. Anyways, so now we're here at January 2025. I have ceased using a prop firm, and nothing against prop firms, but I ceased using them so that now I can continue to develop my trading. All along, I wanted to get to this phase here. I didn't want to keep using prop firms. I had no interest in using prop firms. But anyways, so here I am, and I looked at myself at the end of the year, and I said, okay, Bob, what is your next step? What is it that you're missing? And I really think that one of the drawbacks that I got from trading prop firms that I now need to work my way out of is having specific, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 targets that are just randomly out there based off of, how much risk I'm going to take on a stop. Instead of looking at the charts and evaluating, okay, we had this new pivot high from the daily high, rotate straight back to the 5-minute red line, let's just say, and it, and then it fingered down through, rejected, and shot up, and I took the long at the break of the candle, okay? Using the concept of, say, 2-to-1, the thing would run up, boom, wow, I made 200, 300 bucks, whatever that would be. But then it would proceed to do what it is it was always going to do, which was go back to that high that it had created when it did that pullback. And so all that money from here to here, I would lose. Now, again, prop firms reward you for getting out and taking a $300 win versus getting out and taking an $800 win. They reward you for that, especially back in the day. Now they do this pass in a day stuff. I mean, it's all garbage, that part, because it just creates bad habits, more bad habits in my opinion. But they would reward you because, like, say, back when I first started using Apex, they wanted you to trade for 10 days, be consistent for 10 days, and your, $50,000 account needed a $3,000 profit. Well, what is a $3,000 profit? Well, that's that trade I just described right there. Bing, bing, up, 300 bucks, you're out. You do that for 10 days, that's 3,000 bucks. So you were rewarded for that, which again created, the need to identify good trades. There's a lot of good things that came from that, per se. But the bad thing now that I'm trading live accounts is I don't really care about peak high and rollover. I don't really care. Like what I did yesterday. I took a trade yesterday. I was down $240 yesterday, Thursday. And then a setup came and went bing, bing, just like I talk about. And it took off, and I had the patience to do what I'm talking about here. I had the patience to grab the target and move it to what is the real target. And that's one of the things I'm going to emphasize going forward in my videos is two things. One is me trying to hold winning trades longer to real targets, not just your 2-to-1 stuff, your 3-to-1 stuff, your in and out stuff that a prop firm, wants to see you do and, doesn't necessarily want to see you take a swing trade. Okay? Now, this isn't a real swing trade because I'm not talking about swing trades. I'm talking about things just like I said before. If you create a daily high, for example, here, and then you pull it back into that red line, let's just say in a relatively straight fashion, and then you hit it at a break of the candle, the likelihood, as long as everything's in agreement with the direction and all that stuff, the likelihood this thing's going to go from here back to that daily high is very high. So instead of getting 300 bucks here, let's hold the other half. That because remember that you're still seeking the opportunities for trades that meet all the specific rules so that you have a high probability of making a good amount of money. And you know exactly why you're in here, and you know exactly why your stop's here. I've always talked about getting in at the right spot and managing your stop. Managing your stop from the bottom up, okay? And so my next phase is to also manage my target from the top up. if I'm making sense. And so that's what my goal is in January 2025. What I did yesterday was try to implement my goal, and I hit an NQ trade yesterday for like $1,000. That's not normal for me, okay? Because normally I'm out at $300 or $400, up to $500. Matter of fact, $500 is what my initial target goes out on my ATM setup, is a $500 target. So, sometimes I can get a $500 one or whatever. But I grabbed it, moved it up to where I saw the area that I thought it was going to go to. Where there was to my left. Remember, always look to your left. Where to my left was consolidation before the rollback of my long. And then when I put that thing there, it rolled up, boom, hit it, and I made like $1,000 on that one trade. And that's like, you do something like that, it takes a lot of stress off you. Makes you a better trader, in my opinion. And it makes it a lot easier to take $100, $200 losses, because in your mind, you're looking for those big pivot rotations for the bigger targets. You're looking for that overnight open, the crossover, daily high, overnight pull back to the overnight open, bam, long, back to the daily high, that type of stuff. So I'm going to emphasize what I consider targets going forward in these videos for the next while, because my focus is holding winning trades longer to anticipated targets. Like previous pivot high, that's what's going on to your left, or maybe the overnight open because price is rotating back to it and you can see the overnight open there and you see where they're doing their rotations, or back to the daily high or the daily low type thing. Though I'm going to be looking at those anticipated targets, and I'm going to be trying to make those my targets, and I'm going to talk about those in my upcoming videos. Anyways, I'm blabbing too much, but I wanted to just say, look at, evaluate your trading, see where you're at, and determine what you need to sit down and focus on for the next so many months, and then evaluate it again. And evaluate yourself every day as to how you're doing on this. Now, let me point something out to you. Because I did these steps above, I find that I've got those burned in my brain. So what I now have to burn in my brain is this. I don't have to worry about averaging into bad trades anymore. I don't have to worry about patience and making sure my rules are met. I don't have to worry about having the willingness to take a loss 50% of the time. I don't have to worry about that anymore, because I've got that burned in my brain. It's natural. So now I got to work on this. And I think this step right here is going to allow me to have bigger win days and allow me to take days off like today. I didn't really see anything, so I didn't take any trades today. And you know what? I didn't feel bad about it, because I made over $1,000 this week anyways, just trading one contract. So anyways, everybody have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.